inevitable for anybody in their YouTube journey.
That's true.
So for everybody watching, Charlene Heal is working on changing the chat. So everybody will be able to participate in a moment. She didn't mean to have the members only mode on. So if you're watching on a browser or even on an app on a phone or a tablet or anything like that, you might have to refresh to get in there, but it looks like she's unlocked it now.
Oh my God. It couldn't be any more perfect with mistakes. I'm telling you. Welcome in,
Absolutely.
everyone. I apologize for that. So here we go. So, as you know, I am Charline Heal, and I have 2 YouTube channels. I'm surprised my guests over here didn't introduce their other YouTube channels as well. Some of them have 3 and 4 channels, and talk more about what you do and why you started YouTube. And then we're going to tap into the big hoo-hoos and boo-boos and stuff that we've made. Go ahead, Diane. You can start.
With the mistake, you mean the mistakes we made?
I know. When did you start YouTube? Why did you start YouTube?
Oh, well, I did explain. Well, I started 8 years ago, and I started because I had been doing blogging. I was doing blogging. I'd gotten interested in blogging, and I had a blogging coach, and the blogging coach told me, in your blog, you need to put a video in every one of your blogs. And I said, oh, okay. So that's what made me start a YouTube channel, that from blogging, I needed to include a video in my blogs. And from there, I ended up liking, I didn't like that in blogging, you had to write like 1,000 or something words. I found that a struggle. I do like writing, but not like 1,000, 2,000. I don't forget what they were saying, like how many words. And I ended up just liking the platform of video making. I love video editing and doing that better. And that got me into YouTube 8 years ago.
Excellent. And how about you, Angel? When did you start and why did you start?
Oh my goodness. I started because I started seeing angel numbers after I had a stroke. And I started looking them up and finding out what they were about. And I was wondering if anybody else had gone through that same thing. And so I started the channel to find out and be around like people who had started seeing 1111 and 333 and things like that. And looking them up and finding out what they means. And also then God also started talking to me with downloads. I found out what downloads were. So I've been gradually learning more and more about that for YouTube. So as I was doing that also, can you hear me? I'm stuck. Sorry.
Yeah, you're stuck, but we can hear you.
We can hear you yet.
And then also the spirituality that I already had from being 6 years old all the way up. My mom was a pastor, so from doing all of that, it kind of tied in. So my ability that God gave me to be able to be prophetic, worked in with the angel numbers, and it just started the YouTube channel. And I've been able to reach and help as many people as I can.
Wow, and all this time, I didn't know that. Angel and I have been friends between 3, maybe even 4 years. And I didn't know how the channel started in all this time. I just know that she does what she does very well and has for all this time.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, listen, you came here today, and thank you, all of you. Thank you so much for coming and, just being open and willing to share your stories and not be ashamed of the mistakes you made. So, Kevin, let's hear you, and then we'll jump right into it.
Okay, so thank you. When I started on YouTube, it was about 7 years ago. Pretty soon, I'm going to have to start saying 8, I think. But what happened is I work a little bit in construction. I used to do a lot more. I've been able to scale that back. But we started by filming our work, and I started running channels for other people before I even started my own. And then I started my own in the summer of 2017. And after a little while, meeting people like Angel Light Over Darkness 33, we all know Elevate with Vern, and a few other creators, the Soldier Family Network, and a few others, they introduced me to their friends. I was overwhelmed by their generosity, and so Tuber Chat became a thing, which was meant to be just another growth stream. But I know that generosity, like attracts like. So people with a generous mindset will likely want to find each other. They'll have the same mentality and they'll help each other grow. It's the friendships that make that happen. And then I have a copyright free music channel that's kind of a value add for the Tuber Chat family as well.
Okay, excellent. So now, since you put the ladies on the spot, that they should go first. Now it's your turn to go first. What was like one of the first big mistakes that you remember making as you started your journey?
Well, so first of all, tons of editing mistakes. Some of my closest friends on YouTube have to laugh because even up to the latest couple of videos, this is 6-7 years later, there are still editing mistakes all over the place. What I hope people take from that is that it doesn't matter. Right? So we would like to be perfect, but perfectionism can be paralyzing. It can stop us from doing anything at all. A better idea is just get the stuff out there. You know what I mean? If you make a mistake, you can just delete it. You know, you want to be as careful as you can, but people come to YouTube for YouTube. They're not here for television. You know, they're not expecting perfection. And a lot of people will tell each creator that they like how real they are, no matter what they're doing. So I kind of look at that. I make all my mistakes from rushing. It's always from trying to do too many things at once or trying to rush. And this is what ends up in a lot of that. But that's happened time and time again, to the point I've even made videos, I've had to take them down. I wouldn't be surprised if that's 10 times now over the years.
Oh, wow. You know what? A lot of us, and for my family in the chat and those coming after, if you could relate to that, please share your story in the chat as well. Oh my God. Talk about rushing. That's my story right now. I was rushing, and that's how I made the mistake with the members thing. So case in point. Angel, you can tell us about your first big mistake.
As soon as I'm no longer frozen, I don't know what's going on.
Or Diane, you can go ahead while she
unfroze, froze. Okay. Anyway. Well, because I had a degree in network systems, I already kind of knew the computer and how to do different things. But getting it together with StreamYard, sorry, Tuber Chat, with StreamYard was a little different for me. I had to learn how to do the backgrounds, how to work the chat and all of that stuff. So it was a learning curve for me with that. And getting the right equipment. So I spent a lot of money for my equipment and things like that to help me so that I could do what I needed to do, because I didn't want to be looking all crazy.
What do you mean looking all crazy? What does it mean to look all crazy? Oh my God.
You know, blurry, being blurry and all of that, you know, with nothing in the background. And
oh yeah,
no, I like to look professional. So guys, I have about 15 different backgrounds.
Oh wow. I gotta say though, you put a lot into your backgrounds and all that. You even do like the makeup and the whole shebang, and I'm like, I just throw on something like
on TV.
Yes. But you know, everybody got to go with what feels good for them. When you sit on your platform, you must feel like, okay, this is my stage and I'm ready to go. All right, Diane, let's talk about your mistake.
Oh, you're going to be surprised. I've only made one mistake.
And
what? The mistake made was sub for sub. I do not believe in sub for sub. And that ruined my channel. In the very beginning, my first 1,000 subscribers, my first few hundred were organic. After that, a few hundred more I gained was going to sub for sub channels. And my friend, she has 20,000 subscribers now. I started when she did. We were only within months of each other, and we met on YouTube. And she has 20,000 subscribers now. She never went to a sub for sub stream in her life. I think that harmed my channel. And after getting my we both got our first 1,000 subscribers within the first week. Then after that, we she went on to grow more, and I kind of continued using it as a crutch, like sub for sub. And my channel I have like 3,500 subscribers, but I don't have very many views. I could count on two hands who loyal watchers I have, loyal viewers that I have. And I think that I think video's not for everybody. I found out that after pushing hard for 8 years trying to make it on YouTube, I don't think video is my thing. I think that the visual arts are my thing, along with a little bit of writing. And where I have grown a lot, I made more monetarily in 1 week of my online art auction on Facebook than I did in my best year on YouTube. Wow. In 1 week on my Facebook online art auction, which I started in August, I made more in 1 week than I did in my best year on YouTube. So I stepped away from it. Like, I keep a foot in the door on YouTube, but I stepped back because video is not for everybody. I'm not a movie star. For whatever reason, video is not my platform. I love video editing, but I don't think the camera loves me. And I don't think I come across.
You're beautiful.
I don't think whatever. I didn't grow. And so I can compare myself to my art friend who did grow to 20,000 subscribers. She never went to a sub for sub stream. And I don't know. Maybe most of her viewers are American. Maybe they like her Scottish accent. I don't know. It could be a number of other things. We did very similar things on our channels for whatever. And I think there's an X factor. You'll never know. Why did one channel grow more than another channel? You may never figure it out. It's an X factor. That, like, why did she grow to 20,000 and I didn't? And we both worked really hard. I was consistent. She was consistent. We both have art related content. She's never shown her face once on her videos. And she's been on YouTube for 8 years too. She's never shown her face. They just hear her lovely voice and her wonderful activities that she does on her channel. And so I think it's just an X factor that some people can like succeed on YouTube, and where somebody else doing very similar things don't succeed, and you'll never know why. It's an X factor.
That is so true. So I'm going to give each one of you, because I see a lot of people in the chat. If you want to say hello, I know some people are saying hello, Kevin, hello, Diane, hello, Angel, hello, Charline. So you guys go ahead and say hello to our chat family.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for coming in. I'm sure almost everybody in the chat, I recognize a lot of the names, are probably connected to all four of us in most cases. So if you're not already, we've all been friends, all of us, either together or separately for 3 to almost 4 years now. All of these friendships, right? And this is what makes everybody cross over. So thank you, everybody, again, for being here. Thanks for those thumbs up and shares.
Yes. They're all appreciated. So. My big mistake was taking too long to start YouTube. Oh, my God. And this is for anyone that wants to start, or you just have this fear of like, oh, my God, I don't know enough yet, or I'm too shy for the camera, or I don't have all the right equipment. Just go ahead and start. I just sat down one day outdoors, because I love the outdoors, had my son with me. He used my phone, and I just sat there and I talked. And you know what? It felt so good. It was like therapy to me, because I had like all these things I wanted to share with the world, still do. And I just began to talk about it, and it came out so naturally, so soft, and just beautiful. And I got so much encouragement, because at the time I was new to the whole Tuba Chat community. I also was on the Angel numbers track, and that's how I found Angel. And then she introduced me to Tuba Chat, and that's how I got to meet many of you. And when I first went to his chat, I didn't even have my first video out, but I kind of wanted to see what it's all about and get my feet wet, meet some people, hear some things, learn some things. And I'm telling you, it seemed like a whole new world to me. I did not understand what was going on. It sounded like a racetrack kind of situation. I couldn't see well from my phone, but I felt welcome. I felt loved and warm. And, you know, when I put my first video out, it was so much beautiful people cheering me on. And it was not a sub for sub. It is a community of love and encouragement and learning. And I don't regret taking that step. So that was my first mistake. taking too long to start. So if you want to get off the shelf and just start with what you got. If you have a message to give, go ahead and give it. So let's
Absolutely.
talk about some silly bloopers. If you ever started a live stream thinking you're live and then you realize you're not live, put your hands up right now. If you're in the
I
chat,
just did it the other day.
how was that?
I just did a live stream. I think it was last Saturday. And there's the new vertical live features that YouTube has added. So if you do a live stream in vertical or portrait mode, then it might show up in the shorts feed. So I said, okay, well, I got to get out there and try one. So I started. After about 45 seconds, I didn't think it was live. So I shut it down and restarted. Then I found out after, no, it was live. So yes, it even to this day, it happens. And like I said, it's 6-7 years later.
Oh my God. Another blooper for me. I don't know if anyone else could relate. I was in such a rush, and a lot of stuff happened, like Juba Chan said, when you're in a rush. I had a few live streams set up, and I was already doing one, and I was late for the other one because it was going to be right behind that one. But then I went to the wrong stream and started the live in the wrong stream. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm in the wrong live. Anyone else can relate to that?
I did it once on Super Chat.
I did it once, and then you lose your audience sometimes because they're like, wait a minute, where do I find her? And they leave and go somewhere else. And it's like, oh my God.
I don't forget, because sometimes like the visual aspect that even we get sometimes can imprint these things in your mind. And I feel like when I think about that moment, I can still see the chat. We have a friend named Fanatic Guide. And when I started the wrong live stream, it's just from clicking the wrong button, again, from rushing. And they go, oh gosh, there's another one. And I went, and that's how I knew that it wasn't live. And then I was like, oh, what am I doing? So I had to go and shut that down and everything else. Yep. But exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And as you can see, I'm having computer issues right as we speak. The internet goes in and out sometimes, and you just can't control it. But one of the things that happened to me is, can I be honest? Look at my face.
Please.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Well, my thing was, first of all, for those who don't know, I'm an only child. Okay. So I kind of think everybody's my friend and get along with everybody, and that doesn't always happen. You could try, but it doesn't always happen. You still have to realize that YouTube still is a business. We can be nice and cordial to each other, and sometimes you will find people who you can, be closer to than others. But everybody, it's like my mom told me, everybody isn't your friend. Just because you're an only child, that doesn't mean everybody's your friend. So I had to learn how to, adjust to just being about YouTube with most people instead of bringing them into my life and getting into their lives. So, although my channel deals with people and what's going on with their lives spiritually, but me as a physical person, I can't physically be in everybody's life. And I love that because I love people. But I have to realize that YouTube is a business and you got to treat it like a business.
It can be, that's for sure.
I get it. And sometimes when we say business, for me personally, it sounds too serious. And I like to enjoy what I do. And I really do enjoy just coming up and sharing and vibing. And I make the world of mistakes. I mean, I'm telling you, I've kicked people out of my live streams before. I've kicked myself out of my own live stream, like especially in the beginning when I was like super new. But I have to say, just take the courage and do it. You're going to make mistakes. Expect that. And just move on from it, learn from it. Every mistake that I've made, it allowed me to learn something new, how not to kick myself out, how not to kick my guests out. But sometimes I still mess around and I might move people around without, intentionally doing it because I'm still learning. But I laugh at myself. Sometimes I come up and I try to sound all professional, like Angel would say, but I've got to be me. I'm going to make tongue twisters. And guess what? I made a thing out of my tongue twisters now. When I make my first tongue twister for the night, I go, oop, there goes the first one. Y'all know it was coming. And I make fun of myself and just roll with it. You know, it is what it is. I am human.
Yes, cool gamer, I'll be your friend.
And I think Angel got a super chat. If you want to say thank you to your guests, go right ahead.
Thank you for my super chat.
Yay!
What's the song?
Unlimited.
What's the song? Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your super chat. You didn't have to do it, but you did. You didn't have to do it, but you did. Thank you. And I got that from Pam, guys.
I don't know who that's from, but I learned that since I started following you maybe 2 years ago now. I don't remember how long. Angel keeps freezing. I don't know what's up with that.
I know. Internet issues.
All right. So I don't have any structure for this. I just want us to freestyle and just share as it comes to you. Like,
well, I have 6 versions of my happy dance. So
The happy dance is amazing. I like the original.
I started off my happy dance by dancing on a chair live. So whenever I would get super chats, I would whenever I got super chats, I would get on my chair and dance around, and my booty would be like right in front of the camera. I'd be turning around, shaking my booty, and then all of a sudden I'm shaking my booty right in front of the camera and stuff. And I did that live for almost a year until I created some pre-recorded happy dances, and I play my happy dances for when I get super chats or new channel memberships, or when I get 10 and multiples of 10 thumbs up, 10, 20, 30 thumbs up for live streams. And sometimes I play my happy dances on short, and that's what I have to say about. I'm known for my happy dance.
Diana played it for me a couple times for free. She's cheated and played it even without a super chat. I've super chatted a couple times, but she plays it every time I'm in there just because of that, because she knows I always say something about it.
Awesome.
I think it's a good way to energize.
I use Video Leap as part of my. I use LumaFusion for most of my video editing, but when I want to add all these animated characters, all my happy dances have these crazy animated characters in them, like dancing hot dog, dancing peanut butter, Jiffy jar people, and they're all from Video Leap. I love doing that kind of video editing.
I think you're really creative. I love some of the things that you do when you like set up your StreamYard that you use, right? It's always so creative. I don't know how to do all those things. Like you would have like moving backgrounds and stuff coming out. Like it's always so festive.
Only for video, not for a live stream. I don't.
You have stuff on the live stream that I've seen. Like you would have like a Halloween special.
Yes, through StreamYard you can have up to 5 minute. I think even longer now. Video clips. So now I even have video clips of my artistic journey. Like that's like a little autobiographical, where I'll have like a 5-minute clip of what my artistic journey's been about, and about my merch. I have ads like about my merch that's available, of my stuff in my Etsy shop stuff. And so I play little video clips on StreamYard. I create those video clips ahead of time, and you can store them on StreamYard.
Yeah, I do some of that too, and I need to do some more, because when I did it, right, I didn't realize it was going to show up like a short, and it doesn't take over the whole screen. So I have to like redo it to make it fit like my whole screen. Yeah, because I think it's a great way to kind of like showcase what you do, so your audience would know, okay, I'm not just a content creator. I have this business, and you can support me this way as well if you would like to, because it might be something that they're interested in, you know? So I think it's a really good idea to showcase what you do.
Yeah.
So Kevin, any more bloopers from you? What else did you do?
I got lots. I could go on forever. Most of you know I could talk endlessly for at least 3 hours. And I joke all the time that, when it's done, Kristen has to listen to it continuously, like for all night, all day. It doesn't stop with the YouTube talk. But I did think about a couple of things because I wanted to make sure that I shared, especially for anybody who's just starting out. A lot of people will probably agree with some of the things that have come up when it comes to the ideas of mistakes that we've made, so that hopefully they can avoid it if it hasn't already happened, right? Like, so for instance, when it comes to the idea of trolling and stuff like that, I hope nobody here has had to go through too much like
I
terrible,
have severe
yeah,
trolling. Have had to deal with it.
right.
And
So
not recently,
I've had trolls that were how can I say it? That were how can I say it without getting in trouble?
I'm not going to say how
Talking about bodily things with me.
yes.
And I'm like, and I have to kick them out really quick because they want to come up on the live. Sometimes I'm live and they want to come up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're waiting in the background and they're cursing me out and stuff. And I'm like, what is going on?
What in the world? I've never had those kind of experiences before. Thank goodness. I can't imagine.
Yeah,
well, mine happened
unfortunate.
because I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, mine happened because there was somebody who liked to engage the trolls. I was friends with somebody who liked to engage the trolls, and that's a bad mistake. You shouldn't try to engage the trolls. He would try to argue with them, engage them, and that would just encourage them more. And then they would follow him around when he would go to live stream. So in that year, I was trying to build up my hours to get monetized. And his trolls would follow him to my live stream and cause all kinds of havoc. I mean, even legal havoc.
Oh no.
So I'm glad that you're sharing that, Diana, because that's exactly what I was going to get to, is the idea that when trolling happens, 99% of it is not targeted. Even when they learn our first names or some little detail about us, they're just looking for a reaction. And if you don't give it to them, they're on to the next. We don't want to push them to anybody else. We wouldn't wish it on anybody, but you need them off your channel, in my opinion. If I go into a channel and I see that the host allows trolling, I get quiet very fast and maybe don't go back. Or I'll at least remember to watch for a while first, because I don't want it to spread and infect into other channels and everything else, especially people who are starting out. So the number one piece of advice that I would give when it comes to the idea of trolling is please try not to engage. I know it can be harsh, and I promise you, I've been through some horrible trolling, but what in life doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And so now I'm able to laugh a lot of that off because I didn't understand in the beginning. And I'm very lucky as the host of Tuber Chat to hear stories from other people.
Oh no,
but
he's freezing
trolling
now?
can get
Did
bad.
you speak Iris? Okay, it's back. Oh no.
Yeah, people can take it really, it's not anybody's fault the way that they take it, but it can make people quit if it's really, really harsh. So we wish not to have any of that, but that's something I wanted to make sure that we shared today, was the idea of try not to engage. They're just looking for a reaction. If you ignore them.
Is it me or are you guys seeing things in and out, like you're disappearing and coming back? Or is that just me?
Seems to be okay.
Seems okay. I'm saying it's okay on my end.
Yeah. Mine's okay right now. I had froze a minute ago. But you're absolutely right, Kevin, because when you're, I don't know about other females, but when you're female, the guys come and they say some outlandish things, and it's hard not to even, look startled or something, because the things they say is kind of like, wow, really?
I almost imagine it to be like a child misbehaving when they're not in the supervision of their parents, expecting to get in trouble because the attention is what they're seeking. You know what I mean? If somebody was not receiving enough attention, they lash out so that somebody will pay attention to them because they're not getting enough, is the idea.
Right.
But I know, I personally, I understand what you mean, Angel. I've been in enough channels to see some of the horrifying things that people will say. And we're not even talking just, the average cursing and things like that people can slip with. I'm guilty of that too. But some of the outlandish
things
are kind of mind-blowing.
Yes.
Well, tell you, I'm not going to get into the severity of what happened with me, but one thing that they did was they changed their profile name. My mother had recently passed away, and they put my mother's name as their name.
Yeah.
Oh
Put her
no.
Horrifying
her
activity.
profile picture.
Yeah,
That had to be somebody who knew you though.
Yeah, they got in. They didn't really know me, but they searched and they found it. They knew they were friends with this person, my friend who attracted all the trolls, and they
Mhm.
just wanted to get under his skin by getting under people he knows their skin. So
Mhm.
they would just do kind of search and search to get information they wanted
Yeah.
Wow.
to really
Now,
get under his skin. They just really wanted, and he helped me a lot with getting hours for my monetization. So maybe that was another big mistake on my part, is I should have stopped being friends with him real fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really unfortunate. So it's too bad, like, that these kind of things happen. It's great for everybody to be aware. Not much different than, like, in order to be a good police officer, you'd have to be able to think like a good criminal to know what's out there to be able to identify it. Hopefully, everybody's able to kind of keep it to a minimum. It's an inevitability, but it's just one small, and I don't mean to say small, but it's one piece, and we hope that it's the smallest piece of everybody's YouTube journey when these things happen. And just for hopefully the sake of encouragement, what I have found on every channel that I run or touch is that the worst of the worst dissipates after about 2 weeks. The worst I've seen 2 weeks later starts to either disappear or calm down, because when you are able to not engage, then they get bored because they really
Right.
need the reaction. So,
The
but
guy
that's
Cool Gamer asked me to let his icon be shown. I don't know how to do that. What I do?
is that what they meant, or is it possible that they're not able to come into the chat on your channel? I saw that. I wonder if it means they're shadow banned or banned or anything like that, or if it's one of those things.
I know when he had the other channel. He had a he had another channel,
Oh,
and remember he had all the people and everything, and somebody took his channel, and
I
I
don't
blocked
remember that,
that
but I may
particular
not
channel.
have known.
Huh?
Yeah, I may not have. I personally, I may not have known. Yeah.
Yeah, because I went over there and I saw some guys, and they weren't Cool Gamer, and they had all of his stuff was changed and everything, and then he started a new channel. I think that's them. Is that on your side or my side, Charlene?
What? I think he's on my side.
Cool Gamer's
Okay.
able to be seen here. They're a member on Charlene's channel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see him
they were
here
a
in my.
member on my channel too, but the thing is, it wasn't Cool Gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna ask a question that might sound silly or stupid, because I like this troll stuff. Is it actual people or is it like robots that people set up and send out?
There's
Both.
that too, where robots will come in and they're made to either burst you with a bunch of very adult conversation or
Mhm.
religious conversation or otherwise, but you can almost tell. And after you've been on YouTube for any amount of time, let's say a year, you will have seen some of the same types of sentences and the same behaviors so
Mhm.
much that you'll know right away. We joke about it actually with some of the people who live stream regularly, that some of the newer or younger creators that come in, or I say creators, but I mean supporters or viewers that come in, will say the same things. It's probably not the same people. There's 2 billion monthly active users on YouTube. It could be anybody at all, but the behavior is similar, almost like we would think of stereotypes or characteristics that could be found culturally different across the world. You start to identify things. You know what I mean? We
Yeah,
can't
Cool
point them
Gamer
out.
had to start his channel all the way over, guys.
Pardon me?
He had to start his channel all the way over.
Yeah, we've heard of a few stories like that. That's unfortunate. I've seen a few friends lose channels and things like that as well. And as well, when they get hacked and things, this is not as much mistake as anything else, but security is a big, big, big thing. And I don't talk enough about it, but the idea of like not using the same email address or password
Right.
for any of your social networks. If somebody can get into one, you certainly don't want them getting into all of them. And we probably all, us on panel and everybody in the chat, probably knows somebody who's lost a Facebook profile or an Instagram profile, or even possibly a YouTube channel because of that kind of thing. But these are just ideas.
You were
Yeah.
asking if they're people or bots. So I had in one of my live streams many years ago when I was having this problem with trolls, they would throw, I call it a bot. They would throw a bot at your views and all inflate your views to like make it look like 200 people are watching.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that, but that happened to me a few times.
Yes. The same ways that people would buy subscribers or viewers like fake numbers for themselves, those platforms used to be able to use even to have thumbs down wars. So you would see like two live streamers on at the same time that don't like each other, and they'd be sending each other these thumbs down bombs, and there'd be like 250 thumbs down a minute after the stream started and stuff. But you can also, like, it's possible to harm a channel by inflating their numbers, by doing that kind of thing. I'd never want anybody to think about fake engagement of any kind. You have to know that it has to hurt in some way, whether I'm right or not. But it can be used as a weapon as well, unfortunately, and that's what Diane is talking about.
Yeah, I agree with Diana with that sub for sub thing, and anything like that, buying subs. Like, I didn't even know that was such a thing until someone came to me. I think it was on Instagram. It's like, oh, we can get your views. I'm like, no, then that's not even my real audience. I'm not here to just look at the numbers and like, oh yeah, I have 20,000. I've seen people that have 20,000 subscribers and they have 2 people in the chat or 3, and that doesn't make sense to me. That's not my goal.
Right. I usually
that really care about what I have to say, people that I can help. It doesn't.
Forgive me. I usually say if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. We all see it. We all know. So here's another thought, right? We all get very much wrapped up in YouTube. We talk about it. We have friends on YouTube. It becomes a big part of our life. But if you start to watch videos, and it can be on YouTube, about other platforms, like Spotify is a big problem for artists where people are buying fake engagement. So if you learn the lessons even outside of YouTube for what's going on TikTok, what happens on Instagram, what happens on Spotify or SoundCloud or any other platform at all, you're like, hey, wait a second. I've seen that kind of thing on YouTube, because we never know what's going to strike the right chord, right? And, I never want to preach or tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do, but I often say the same things over and over. And in my mind, I'm thinking only YouTube, right? But there's other ways to look at ideas or hear about ideas that can be relatable. And then these lessons can come across. Fake engagement has been all across the internet ever since the very beginning. Like on a website like Yelp, which is literally named for people just screaming and yelling at each other and everything else. That there are fake reviews for restaurants. We're in an age now where people are not going to believe 90% of what they see without doing their own research or whatever we want to call it, because every time you see anything, it could be a comment, it could be a live chat, it could be another platform or a YouTube video. When somebody says something or you see something, even with your own eyes, you're going to say, wait a second, is that real? I'm paranoid, so I'm always skeptical of everything. But I think the world's going to turn that way pretty soon, because so many things have been debunked where somebody believes something to be true. I'm sure we've all seen Donald Trump holding up a notebook or a legal pad and having everything under the sun written on it. That's not real. It was meant to do that, to get across the internet in a viral way. But these are the kind of things we're going to be looking at now, is whether things are real or not. But I tend to stay away when I see channels that have gone, let's say, too far when it comes to the idea of buying the subs, buying the views and things like that. I'm waiting to see if one channel gets a play button, and I'm not going to call anybody out by name, but I know a channel that's over 100,000 now, and I want to see if they get their play button, even though they bought their way all the way there. Yeah, I don't know if that's possible or not, but I'm constantly amazed and disappointed. So, more than anything else, I never want to preach, but I do want to plead with everybody. Please don't do any of it at all. It hurts.
Nope, it does. It'll get you blocked off banned.
Preach on, brother. You're speaking the truth.
And
But
forgive
no,
me.
it's ridiculous, and it seems so unfair. I've seen a lot of I don't like to say small YouTubers, but growing YouTubers who are
Mhm.
doing really great videos and very informative and everything. And it's not getting the views that I personally feel that they deserve to get. And I've seen nonsense get thousands and millions of views. I don't
Mhm.
get it. I'm like, are people really into stupidness versus, valuable content? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but that's just in my book. So, getting back to the bloopers, has anyone ever created a video and deleted it by accident?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
did it with a lie, a long lie.
My family in the chat, have you ever done that? Created a video, you edited and everything, and then you deleted it by accident. Or you maybe just like one of them, I did the previews, I did like the screaming, the video, and I interviewed someone, a business person. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go edit this and all that. Deleted everything. Everything. And I couldn't get it back because I wasn't gonna go back there to do all that over again.
Mhm.
That's right.
It hurts.
It
It hurts.
does.
I
But
I
I
haven't
learned.
done it that I know of, but I may have done it once, and I'll never know the truth because on one of the channels that I run, which is not mine, we had a very important live stream all of a sudden disappear. And I had been working on the channel the day before, and then all of a sudden it was like, where did this thing go? This is very important. Where is this video? Now it was deleted right out of YouTube. And when contacting the support, they said, oh, well, you deleted it. Right. There is no way we would delete it. It's the most important video on the channel at the time. But because we can't prove anything at all, I have to assume that there's a 50-50 chance maybe I accidentally deleted it while I was rushing, clicking the wrong thing. It's that easy to do. So what YouTube said to us was it's impossible to bring videos back after the deleted, but just this once we'll do it for you. I said, oh, well, you're
Wow.
willing to bend the rules, but it's only this just one time, right? Yeah. So we were lucky, but I'll
Mhm.
never really know. And actually, just to call one creator out, I know Scratch and PPA had a situation where I think I forget exactly what happened. Forgive me if he wants to clarify. I think a video disappeared without his intent, and he had to repost the video, and it was a really disappointing thing to have gone through because most of us know Scratch and PPA has been posting now for 3 years with perfect consistency. He does not miss. If he doesn't
Mhm.
run a premiere, he still posts that video at 12:15 Eastern every Tuesday. But he had no choice, and it seemed to be that it was just a YouTube problem, not likely accidentally being deleted, right? Because if you're not regularly deleting anything, why would you ever delete anything at all, right? It's not an easy mistake to make.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a two-step thing. It's a two-step thing. They ask you, are you sure you want to delete this?
There you go.
That's
I did an
crazy.
entire video with no sound.
Me too.
I might have done that. I don't think I published one, but I've uploaded a couple. Yeah, like and either almost published them or I might have done it once. Yeah.
I have done that. I did an entire live thinking that I was talking behind the scenes as I was doing my meditation and all that. And I was really into it. Not one person in the chat told me, we can't hear you. But I'm like, I forgive it because I'm like, in their mind, they're probably thinking I'm just doing one of those, no sound and it's just, the scenery and the music without a voice. So I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Rochelle. Our now panelist has finally arrived. Yay, 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 yay. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Let's give our other guests a camera break while you take the spotlight.
Well, I hope I'm live because can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go right ahead, ma'am. Welcome to the stage.
Okay, because Google is still asking me to verify that it's me logging in. So I can't even see the screen or anything because Google is just who they are.
Oh, wow. We
But
see
I'm
you and you're wearing
Rochelle
a beautiful
Vanderpool.
crown.
Thank you. And my channel is about sewing and embroidery. And yes, I have deleted videos. I have videos that go, I get tongue tied and those types of things. So yeah, I've done those things.
All
Junior,
right.
I'm
And that's
telling you, I can't see you guys. It's still on my
so
screen. So give me a
maybe
moment. I'm
go
going to
out
get
and
with
come
you
back
guys.
in because I see you. Everyone can
No,
see
they're
that, right?
asking me to verify. They're asking me to
Oh,
verify that it's me, and
I'm
they're
not sure what
taking me
that's
through a
about,
thing.
but I see you. I hear you.
I got
You
to
look
do the
great,
phone.
gorgeous.
Okay, thank you. Just
That
one
doesn't sound
moment.
right.
I
I've
guess
never been through
I'm
that. I
waiting
don't
for
know.
you to say.
So stay right there.
I know
Don't you
this is the
move.
first time it.
So since I got you
Yes,
up,
ma'am.
do you want to share your first mistake or any mistakes besides deleting the videos? That's the biggest out for me, deleting the videos.
So I can't get to it because Google is all over my screen. I want to get them out of the way. I'm sorry. Just give me just a
That's
moment.
okay. So I can mute you while you do that, and we
It's
can go
telling
ahead.
me.
I'll mute you while you do your thing, and we'll go ahead and continue. Right? Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready to roll. All right.
Okay.
All right. So where were we?
Bloopers.
Bloopers. Talk about bloopers. I
Where?
totally forgot where we were.
Oh, I'm sure there's millions out there on all our channels. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, one time I couldn't get the screen to act right. I could hear you guys in the background, but I couldn't see me on the screen. And my husband had to come out and work on the computer and everything. And I'm like, you're officially a YouTuber now.
Part of the process.
Yes, it was part of the process. And he said, I didn't even comb my hair. I said, but you're here. So please.
Did you guys at any point ever feel like giving up because of the
all the time.
challenges? Wow.
Diana's making me
And I
laugh.
haven't in a sense given up. I just keep a foot in the door on YouTube. I've stepped away from I don't put out a video every week anymore. I finally am doing a live stream every week again. I co-live stream with somebody, co-host a live stream every Monday, an artsy live stream. But I pretty much I don't make videos every week like I used to. I was very consistent, and I just keep a foot in the door.
I hear you.
I used to try a lot. I was following YouTube experts all the time, like do this, do that, and I do it, and it wouldn't work, and I do this, and it wouldn't work, and it's like, or it would work a little bit, and then it would stop working. I even paid money on how to improve my YouTube channel, a 10-month program. It didn't really improve my channel.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Speaking of that, how much have you guys put in money towards your channels?
Well, I put money to buy like my equipment. Like I just got some that you recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Like the basic stuff, but not like paying somebody to teach me. I've never done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That myself I haven't done, but only because I'm in social media and I feel like I know well enough, but I'll also sit there and watch, like, there's got to be 10 YouTubers that I probably watch occasionally between Think Media, Tim Schmoyer, Daryl Eves, Roberto Blake, Nick and Dee Niman, Sonny Lenarduzzi, and possibly even a couple of others. So I'll watch like what they're going to talk about. But I also understand while there are some people who will put a product together with good intentions and good value, sometimes when somebody's selling a book or a course, they're really just selling the book or course, right? So especially now in the day of AI, any of us, if you wanted to take an 8-hour day, you can make an AI course that just gives a bunch of nonsense that's a collective of what everybody else has all said and say, like, hey, I got this program, everybody could buy it. And we know that there are some people who will just buy anything, so we have to do a little bit of research to look into those. But I'm also lucky because I've had a couple of people who have gone through a couple of courses, let's say with Think Media and this and that, and then they just share with me whatever they feel like they've learned anyway. So I get the benefit in that way. Personally, I haven't done it. but it's always a thought, right?
The biggest thing the thing I did even had coaching. It had small group coaching, weekly
Mhm.
small group coaching and stuff, and it was pretty legitimate. It was a pretty legitimate program.
Mhm.
But that's where one of their biggest points was you be authentic. Be authentic.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, because people will see through fake. And I'm like, I don't know. In so many ways, they said it like 100 different ways how to be, and then they tried to teach you a bunch of other things. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in being fake. It just doesn't feel right to me when you're fake. And I'm not saying being fake is like, okay, I'm lying and creating this image that I'm not. But sometimes people are fake because they're really uncomfortable. When you're not your authentic self, that's why sometimes I breathe to get into me. Because when you're not authentic, you're not breathing, you're stifling yourself. And I don't like that. I just have to be me. You're
Yeah.
either gonna like me or you're not gonna like me. And guess what? I like me, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah. You guys
Just
know
saying.
with my channel, I get that all the time. How do you know that about me? How are you hearing this stuff? And I'm like, listen, I've been hearing from God since I was 6 years old. And my mother used to stand me on a box, and people would come into the church and line up and ask me, "What did you see, baby?" And I would just close my eyes and tell them what I saw. And they would tell me, "Yeah, I got that money, I got the car, I got the this, I got the that." And I wasn't being specific. I would just say, "I see a car, I see a house, you know." And what color is the house? I tell them whatever it was. And then one lady told me, she said, "I got that house you told me about." And I didn't even remember. I'm like, "What house?" And she had to remind me, because when I'm in the spirit, okay, for you guys that don't know, my mom's a minister. I'm a PK kid. So I've been doing what I do on YouTube all my life. So so sometimes I'm challenged, and I'm like, "You're not challenging me, you challenging God, because I don't hear anything from you unless God tells me, you know." And that's always a thing for me. People always come in and say, "Oh, no, that's not right. No, that's." And even though it may be right, but they'll tell me, "No, it's not right." Or they'll tell me, "What you're doing is not of God," and this, that, and the other. And they'll get real religious with me. And I'll tell them, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. It's
That's
a
right.
difference.
It's a nice
I
answer.
There's
worship
a
God in
difference.
spirit and in truth. I do not worship God according to religion. So that's why I don't get into that, you know. And that's the only challenge I've had that's been the hardest for me. And I have to really step away sometimes because of it, because sometimes people can be so cruel, you know. And I have to step away from it and say, "Okay, God, you take it, because I can't. I can't." Because after, those of you who don't know, I had a stroke, a full blown stroke. So because of the stroke, I can't handle stress like I
Yeah.
used to. And sometimes people know that, and they'll come for me because of it. So I have to, you know, whittle through some things.
Yeah. You got to
But
protect yourself.
yeah, it's a challenge when you're doing something that is on your heart to do, and then people challenge you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest challenges.
Yeah. So since we're on that, I kind of want to stick there for a minute because as you grow, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to receive negative comments as well. And you have to be prepared to deal with that professionally or nicely or in a way that doesn't affect you or your energy or what you're doing. So and if you ever received a negative comment, and if so, how did you deal with it in a way that, is pleasant and didn't affect you in a negative way, didn't take you down? Or maybe you did. Just share your story.
I just delete them if it's too much. So here's the thing: when a channel, I promise you, everything it gets to me as much as it does to everybody else. It may not seem like it, You know what I mean? I know I can talk with confidence and have a dynamic personality and all that, but I promise you that the stuff gets to me also. I have to wonder when I got my first troll, like, oh, this guy's a scam artist. I had to like, wait, am I being a scam artist? I had to like think about it for a second. But once a channel gets to a certain point, and let's say around 1,000 subscribers, but more like around 2 or 3,000, the community polices itself. So when you have somebody come on and say something horrible, it's not going to be too long before somebody else says, you know what, you're an idiot, or like it, and just starts to slam them right back. You don't have to police it yourself. YouTube gives us a couple tools, although in my opinion, they don't work as well as they could. The worst of the worst, you can click a couple of boxes in the back of your YouTube studio to hide some of the comments temporarily. So here's the thing. What I would wish for everybody, especially starting out, is that you could be self-aware to understand how the stuff affects you. So every time something happens that gives you a really positive feeling or negative feeling on YouTube, like comments and things, you think like, wow, that really made me feel terrible, maybe justifiably so. But if you know that and you are the kind of person who is very negatively affected by that stuff, and you want to quit and you want to give up and you want to delete your video because somebody said so, absolutely they're wrong. But if you know that, then just don't go in there. Just don't bother looking at the horrible comments. They delete automatically after 30 days or 60 days or whatever it is anyway. There's a button in the back of the YouTube studio. Or if you really want a better idea, you can get somebody who you truly trust to help moderate the channel for you. And then you can ask them for the responsibility. Because if somebody comes on my channel and says like, you're fat and ugly, I might not want to see that. But I can get my friend to go on and I could just say, if somebody tells me I'm fat and ugly, just delete it for me. And then they will, right? So luckily we have that available where people can moderate your comments and they can help with your channel a little bit. You have to be very careful about that stuff. And again, I can't stress enough. You have to have people that you know for a long time and trust, but you can. I just try to avoid it. And now when stupidity comes along, forgive me for putting it that way, but we know what it is. I just delete it. You know what I mean? If I don't know what I'm talking about and somebody calls me a scam artist and whatever, they're just doing it to channel after channel looking for that reaction. It's a form of trolling, really.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I don't remember seeing any like directly negative comments on my live stream, maybe except once. And it was actually for someone that we know in the community. He was just being really opposite of the energy that I was trying to put out there, which is, wealth and wellness. So apparently he lost a lot of money doing investing or whatever. And he's like, he was just so negative. But I allowed him to vent because for one, his interaction in the chat, whatever. But I also spoke to him in a very gentle, calming way. I'm like, okay, so maybe this is not for you. You don't need to be here. It's okay. No problem. You can leave. But he still stayed in the chat and kept complaining and complaining. So I just allowed him to be, it was no harm. And there was a lot of people in there that was saying, oh, don't worry about that. They love this affirmation and they were going along with it. And they did not allow that to shake their vibe. So I'm like, everyone has their own experience. Some things are for some people. And like Gio would say, some people are for me and some people are not for me, but it's okay. I recognize that in comments because sometimes I would see a comment that's different from what I might expect. And I embrace it because I'm like, you know what? It's good to know what others are thinking. So I get to see other perspective. And it allows me to now know how to channel my messages so that it's not offensive to anyone. Because like, for instance, I was doing a series on freedom. And I knew what I meant with freedom, but as I recognized some comments that were coming in, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many people, women under oppression that I wasn't even thinking about that type of freedom. And it just allowed me to open and expand my mind. So I didn't really take it as a negative. I just took it as an opportunity to learn someone else's perspective and roll with it. And if I see a comment that doesn't feel pleasant to me initially, I read on it, I leave it. And then I think about it and I try to see myself in that person's mindset. Like, okay, why are they thinking like this? And okay, how is the best way to respond to this comment without offending, because I don't mean to offend anyone or harm anyone. My vibration is love. And I always say,
Mhm.
hey, that's just another side of me saying this thing. And I do my best to answer in a way that brings the vibration of love. And I just say blessings. You don't have to be on my platform. Blessings to you and take good
Mhm.
care. And thank you for your comment. I appreciate your what was the word I usually would use? Not comment, your perspective, because everyone
Mhm.
has their own perspectives. Like, thank you for your perspective. I appreciate you sharing it. And that's it. I
See,
leave
that's
it
why I love you so much. You just put things in such a little nice little box with a little bow on it. Everybody else would be like, yeah.
there. Yeah, I
Charlene's
don't
like,
have time for that. Everybody needs
for
love,
your
and
perspective.
yeah, everybody needs love. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna let that. It is what it
I
is.
wish I knew you when I was about 9 years old. You would have helped me with bullies.
Uh,
Nah, I was a bully myself.
Oh God.
Yeah, so I was just telling myself I used to fight so much until one person beat me up, and then I stopped fighting after that.
yeah, that's how
Oh
it's done
God.
apparently. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, Rochelle, let's give you some time because you've been quiet.
Yes, we
Well,
should.
yeah, finally, I'm still waiting for what one drive or whatever to sync because I had some videos in a folder, but it's telling me it's not syncing today. I don't know why. Anyway, yes, but
YouTube is great.
on the subject of trolls in the that may come up in the chat. One thing I do not discuss is politics.
Mhm.
You really don't want to hear from me. And if I see the comment, my only comment is going to be stop because we don't talk about that here. And if
Mhm.
they continue, then I just delete it. I don't comment on what they had to say or anything like that. I just give them the warning one time, and then that's it. I absolutely do not talk about politics.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't know nothing about politics, so I can't even talk about it. I don't pay attention to that. I'm
Well,
not educated on that subject.
after you've been around as many years as I have, without
Mm,
counting, you will not discuss politics anymore.
yeah.
Me either.
Keep it safe because you just don't know. You just don't know.
No,
You might
because
slip
it'll
up.
go all the way left.
Oh yes, absolutely,
Yeah,
Quick.
absolutely. I've been
and
in the
everyone's truth is
supermarket
their
talking
truth.
about bread, and somebody comes up and they say, "Well, whose fault is it?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then they get into the politics, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm out
Mhm.
of here." You
Yeah.
know. So
True. True.
yeah, you just don't know.
True.
Yeah, but I don't have. I used to have some moderators, but I think they're too busy right now. So I just moderate for myself.
Mhm.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
you need some new
You
mods.
know you can get bots
Awesome.
to help you.
Yeah. Yeah, and the bots too. I am now learning how to program my bot. My bot kicks people out, and I don't know how to program it. If you make more than 3 emojis, I think it kicks you out. So I need to sit down and figure all that out and how to make it like drop links. And I'm not a tech person. I just want to
So
show up for the show and have a tech person behind me. Okay.
is this like Nightbot? I'm so busy, trying
Yeah.
to get my videos perfected that I hadn't time to look at bots.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
it's,
see
it's
them in
not
the chat
night
all the
bot.
time, but yeah.
They
Go
can
ahead.
be helpful. So forgive me, just because we mentioned them, I can't resist a chance to talk about them. But for anybody that's thinking about using them to help with your moderation, here's my suggestion. It doesn't matter whether it's Streamlabs or Nightbot or Stream Elements or Botrix or any other one. When you add them to the channel, it's very easy to do. You just log in with YouTube. You don't even have to do anything. But once you get in there, there are a few pages and a few settings and things. My advice is to turn everything off, and then as you read and learn about each one, then you turn them on individually. That way you don't run into the problems where you walk into a channel, you say hello, and you get timed out right away. Because I promise I've been kicked out of as many channels as anybody, especially in the early days, because I had to learn everything too. Not that I know everything, but you know what I mean, right? I had to learn all this stuff, and I got timed out repeatedly and banned from channels, for saying the simplest things. And that
Really?
can be detrimental because you think about how much work we have to put in to get anybody to show up to our channel for the first time. What a shame for them to be turned off because they did not feel welcome, not to mention got either timed out or worse by a trigger happy mod or a robot, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's just an idea, but forget it. I had to inject that in there.
Yeah.
Let's welcome in our newest panelist, Nora.
Hi, Nora.
What's
Hi,
going
Nora.
on, guys?
Nora.
I thought I'd come up and share. How's everyone doing?
Excellent.
Oh, sorry.
Nora's the
Good.
stock explorer. You should introduce your channel, Nora.
Yeah, let me give you a spotlight. Hold on, let me make sure I don't kick you out. Give you a spotlight. Go ahead, tell the people who you be.
I'm Explorer on YouTube, guys. I'm reaching my 2K milestone right now. I started as a stock market and financial advice channel. I kind of segued into a few different things. It's more of a variety channel now. You know, I'm very much involved with the small YouTuber community. Met a lot of you through Kevin, of course, Tuber Chat. And yeah, I just appreciate the family that we're building on YouTube. And we just try to have fun. I do primarily live streaming, and I try to throw in a little bit of, you know, tips and tricks, advice for making money here and there. We also do lottery scratch tickets, guys. I started that as a members giveaway, and it kind of snowballed into something new. So yeah, I'm constantly evolving, but that's what I do now, guys. It's more of like a variety channel where you can come and meet new friends. So I hope I can connect with a few more of you guys because I'm right at a milestone right now of the 2K. So I hope a few more of you guys can come and join me. Oh, there you go.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, that's me playing around again. I'm sorry.
Nora, I'm gonna come and see if I can find you.
Okay.
Oh, Mama's in the chat. If you could please drop her link, let's get her to 2K.
As far as I know, I'm the stock explorer. I mean, there may be others, but I think I'm the only one. So
yes, Nora is a beautiful, beautiful soul. So much love comes out of Nora. I just love you. I love your hair, by the way. It looks different.
I appreciate that, Charline. You've been my friend a long time, so appreciate that.
Yes. Right back at your sissy poo. So let's hear about your big bloopers, the big stock explorer blooper.
Big bloopers. One thing I used to do, I don't do anymore now. Reading people's comments out loud before I read them myself.
Yes, I can
You sound like
imagine.
you can relate to that, Kev.
Well, I can
Yeah.
imagine what they're talking about. Yes, I'm sure I've done it in my early days, but we
Yeah.
know, you must read first, think before speaking.
Oh man.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think we've all done that. Yeah, we've all done. I got
Well,
very good
sometimes-
at reading the chat very quickly.
Sometimes I don't want to talk about trolls the whole time, but sometimes what will happen is people will come in. It's usually either younger creators or people trolling, and they'll put a couple words together when pronounced properly, sound like something outlandish, and you have to watch for that. So yeah, that's good advice from Nora to have a look first before you say anything out loud.
Yep. They almost got me a few times. I kind of caught myself mid-sentence, like, oh, yeah, we're not going to read that. Like, okay.
Oh my gosh. Anything else you want to share, Nora?
Nora
Oh my God,
will
we're so
remember
wrong.
actually one of my biggest bloopers ever, because Nora was the one who said
I
it.
was there.
because, I was having internet troubles. We all have internet troubles, right? You know, our streams buffer and they get cut off and everything else. And for a long time, it was happening on Tuber Chat in both locations, at home and at my workplace, because I split my time between both. And I was getting so aggravated because it had to be 10 times in a row. It was very close. So finally, there was one where the internet cut out, and I was sure I was off. And one of the moderators said to me in the chat, "Stream ended." So I know, okay, we're done. And I said the worst word you can say at the loudest volume you can say it. I yelled through the house and found out afterwards, oh, good, everybody heard me. We're still on. And I remember because Nora said, oh, it's okay. It makes me like you even better now.
That is exactly what I said. Yeah. Funny, man.
So now I'm that much more careful. We must keep us cool even in those scenarios.
Yep.
There's
Somebody drop Nora's link.
there's
Oh,
a blooper
thank you guys. I
have not
appreciate
done,
that.
but I thought there's a blooper I
Oh no,
haven't.
you can
I
type
haven't
your
done
name in
yet.
so one of the mods could capture you and drop your link. I think
In
you're a
the
mod, aren't
chat.
you, Nora? Or Kevin, you're a mod?
Yeah,
I don't
No,
remember.
not yet.
I'm a mod.
I forgot about it until I looked a second ago.
Okay, I got you. Just say something, Kev, so I could
There we go. Oops.
Hello.
Let me try to say hi. There we go.
I
That's
kind of was
me.
just about to tell us about another blooper.
Yeah, there's a blooper I have not done yet, but I'm afraid of doing it. When I live stream ends, I make sure the live stream ends before me and my co-host are continue chatting. Like I double tap
yes.
triple check.
Yeah.
I have turned the live stream off.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that you're not
Yes.
talking, and all of a sudden you didn't really turn the live stream off, and you're still chatting with your co-host.
Oh my God, you've done that? You said, Diane?
Oh, I'm afraid. That's one blooper I'm really afraid of doing, and I triple check to make sure I don't do it.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, please connect to Nora, the Stock Explorer. I know it's not Nora, the Stock Explorer, but I can't help it.
You're good.
Let's get her there. Let's get her there. Let's get her there. Let's get her there. We're a community
Thank
of
you,
love and
Charline.
support. Yes, let me pin that. And I see, right, just to answer the poll, I see about 55% of us said we've made more mistakes 50% more mistakes than we can count. And 34% of us said we just made a few mistakes. And 16% said, I never made a mistake. I am perfect at this YouTube thing. Good for you. That ain't me.
That wasn't me.
Anyway, go ahead, guys. Go ahead and share. Let me get this link pinned.
Yeah, lately
So most
what
of
I've
my
noticed.
Oh, I've got you already, the Stock Explorer.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have been to one of your streams. I enjoyed myself. That was good. You even pulled a number for me one time. I recently just learned that certain things you say during your streams can be, I guess, not suitable for ads to be ran on your streams. And yeah, it's just good to be mindful that advertisers are, wanting to advertise on your channel, and you want to make it a welcoming place for advertisers. So if you get into certain polarizing content or controversial things, it can really, I guess it could be a negative. So you just have to be careful what you decide to discuss on your panels and things like that. What exactly it was, I don't know, because it won't tell you, but it will say ad suitability and give you like the yellow dollar sign. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Yeah, I think it becomes yellow or something.
Yeah.
I've had that. But simple things. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys do? I'll tell you what I do after you tell me.
I just leave it because I'm like, the message is more important than a few pennies, like whatever.
I leave it.
No. You know
No.
what you do?
What?
What do you do?
You push the button to just mute that section, and you still get paid.
Oh, yes, you can. For copyright claims, you can. Yes. I appeal everything. Always. Even if I know that the video, like on one of the channels that I run, has a lot of questionable content because it's a travel channel, and the creator who owns it goes to places like Thailand and shows the in-depth parts of Thailand that people generally don't show as much, right? So when there are things or in a chat that people have said that is awful and things like that, I'm still going to appeal it. Right? Because half of them come back with it's not a problem, and half of them come back, we're just sticking with our decision. So it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Okay. It's just like Kareen's life says, dispute it. You can dispute it as well.
There you go. Yes. Appeal or dispute.
Yes. Here's the thing. I don't know if this ever happened to anyone else. I had a video in the earlier days. It was who is God or what is God, right? And it was like these beautiful nature scenes and my voice behind it. And they said there was a music copyright claim or something. So I was like, okay, I could edit out the music, but whatever I did, my entire voice was gone. It just took over the music.
There's a button there that says you want to dispute it, you want to mute it, or whatever, and you just hit mute, and it'll just mute that particular section.
the entire video, there's no voice. It's just whatever music they put on it.
Studio.
I'm with you, Charlene. That happened to me for a live video that I had too. It was just streaming with, the water and the music in the background. And then they said copyright claim. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? Mute the music. And then it just mute everything out. I was like, okay, who wants to watch this true silent stream? No music.
I don't want that. No, but like, is there a way to get back your voice after you've done that, or that's it? Because I don't
think so. I don't think so.
Sucks. All right, that's a mistake. Don't mute your stuff.
Right. You can either mute the section or mute it all. Corinne's right. That's what I do. I just mute that section.
We just have to be really careful, especially when you're doing something like that. Because like I said, my mistakes always come from rushing. And I would bet that I've made more mistakes than everybody here, just because I tend to rush. And I know how sloppy I can be when it comes to especially my own stuff. Even forgetting sections of videos, and then I just put the video out anyway. And I'm like, okay, if nobody notices, who cares? But that's not a good way to look at it. But then we just have to be careful I just did a video unboxing a phone saying I'm going to put the case on the phone later, and I forgot to put the case on the phone. So but nobody's going to notice except for I said it now, right? So it doesn't matter. It's up. The video's not going to get any more or less views from it, but we just have to be careful. Like I said, for me personally, it's always rushing. And then, so if we're doing something like muting audio, muting our voice, the only thing we can possibly do is try to be slower about it and really make sure that those windows come up that say, like, are you sure you want to do this? And be sure, because it's very easy to make a mistake. And let's say you're about to edit a section out of a video with the YouTube editor. You could accidentally delete the wrong section or the whole beginning or end of the video if you're not watching the markers, especially when you're doing it the first couple of times, right? Anything's possible.
Mistakes can also improve your engagement. If you make mistakes, sometimes people are going to call you out in the comments, and that just increased your engagement.
Makes sense. This is why like some creators like Kristen Walton will put bloopers in her video because people like to see it. Now they watch her videos like to see what is she going to do, I'm sure in some cases, right?
Yeah, that's something I actually thought about, and I did it once, and it was actually fun to look back at it and see all the like retakes, and it was fun. It was fun, but I don't know if I have the time because, like, if I'm being honest, editing is not really my thing. I just want to get in front of the camera, speak, share my message, and then have someone else take care of the other stuff. I'm trying to hire someone right now to do all that because it's just not my vibe. Some people love tech, but I'm learning to love it. Let's just put
That's
it out.
a hint for anybody that is starting their YouTube journey that enjoys video editing or enjoys making thumbnails or enjoys graphic design or enjoys doing the research for the tags and the titles and stuff. You can either trade favors with people or absolutely make money if you want to on platforms like Fiverr and Upwork. It's not unreasonable to say you can go on Fiverr and charge $5, $10, 15 or 20, whatever you think, maybe even more to make thumbnails for people because they don't like to do it or don't want to do it, right?
Really?
That goes for everything that we do.
I love making thumbnails.
Rockshake Beauty, she makes nice thumbnails too. Angel has helped me with some thumbnails. Diana has helped me with some thumbnails.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They got my back when it comes to certain things. I mean, like I can do the basic and I know what I want, but like for me to actually do it, it's such a struggle. I'm trying to find a joy in it, but oh gosh.
I learned how to do graphic design because I got so frustrated hiring people because I never had any talent when it comes to that. I really still don't. So I'm proficient. And when I see an idea, I can copy it into like Photoshop and I am lightning fast. But I can't come up with my own ideas. I just don't like anything that I create. I'm not an artist. So when I look at my own work, I'm always way too skeptical. I don't want to put it out. But if I copy somebody's idea or take inspiration from it, then I can get it done. But I learned only because of frustration. I got so tired of being disappointed, trying to hire work and not being happy that I said, okay, I'm just going to sit here and I don't care how long it takes. It could be a day, a week, a month. I am going to learn how to design something. And then now it's getting on 20 years ago, 15 years ago, like most of my stories are. But I learned that now, again, lightning fast. I can do thumbnails in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I love doing thumbnails. I love doing tech stuff. I'm techie.
You see, what I like about your channel, Tuber Chat, when I see a thumbnail, I know it's you. I want to develop that branding where, like, and I think I haven't found one that I really like yet to say, okay, I'm going to keep working with maybe these particular fonts or this particular color scheme or this particular format. I don't know what it is, but when I see that thumbnail, oh, I know that's Tuber Chat. Like, what do you use? Do you stick to like a particular font?
There's a hint in there. So I probably spent a couple hours making those thumbnails, and somebody more talented than me could have probably got it done faster than I did. But those were very deliberately thought of, and I did it after the first 30 or 40 or 50 episodes of Tuber Chat. I used to do a different thing, but the idea was, how can I build something that people are going to recognize 2 years from now? And like you're saying right now, that it's Tuber Chat the second you see it. You don't have to read it. The colors are different every day, but that that's it. But that was thought of and planned. So a lot of times people, I imagine, get stuck thinking like, okay, I want my channel to be red and blue. So I'm going to make like a red background with blue letters, and I want that to be my thumbnail every time. Whereas you can still do the same idea with the structure of your thumbnail with shapes. Maybe you want the big text on the left and a picture of yourself on the right, but you can make them different colors every time. And therefore, like for Tuber Chat, I have essentially 16 different ideas for templates. So all I do is go in and pick the same combination of 16 different colors for the thumbnails, but it's essentially a template. So you spend all this time working on one format, and then you just say, okay, I'm never happy because the text for every thumbnail is going to change. If you're somebody who puts text on your thumbnails, you might have a video that just for some reason you have to put a word that is just too long to fit where you want it to fit. You can change these things by moving things around and just changing colors and having 2 or 3 variations and being happy with that. Instead of saying I need one universal thing, because that is really hard to do. When you watch the biggest channels that I talked about, like Think Media, Daryl Eves, Tim Schmoyer, Sunny Lenarduzzi, and all of them, they have different thumbnails. Most of them look very recognizable, so they have developed their brand, and some of them have logos, and they've got teams of creative and artistic people able to do it. But you'll notice that none of those channels that I'm aware of have exactly the same thumbnail every day. So we don't have to do that. You can still have your look without making it exactly the same, right?
And there's different schools of thought what makes a successful thumbnail. And it ultimately is the analytics that tells you whether you had a successful thumbnail or not, of whether how many people saw the thumbnail and how many people clicked. And ultimately it has to do with the title, and are people interested in the content and the title. And I've done a lot of research into that.
There's your analytics guy.
Yeah, YouTube's going to give us a tool very soon that's going to allow us to make 3 different thumbnails for every video, and then it's going to choose the one that performs the best. So my suggestion then is to make your thumbnails completely different. If you can start now by 3 different looks, because if you're thinking to yourself, I want each individual video to explode in views, which we all wish. Well, one type of video that you're going to make, even if they're very similar, may not match another type of video you're going to make. So the audience that's going to click may not be attracted to the kind of thumbnail you're going to make for one as much as for another, if that makes any sense. What I'm really talking about is maybe your picture on the left instead of the right is going to matter. Maybe blue instead of red is going to matter. And even though you want people to like what you think they should like, it's never the case. Never, ever, ever. And this is why
I'm such a girl. I try to match my thumbnail to what I'm wearing. Color-wise. If I'm wearing purple, I'm going to be purple.
We're all gonna laugh when we get to Angel's channel now, because we're gonna be looking for it in our thumbnails. Remember
exactly. I love doing thumbnails. I do.
I enjoy it now as well.
I
It's
think
a
I
it's
have
a
200.
I think there's a challenge to it for myself personally, but if you look at most of the channels that I run, every different type of video gets its own type of thumbnail. Rarely do I match unless it's a series.
Yes. I go with the
Mhm.
video and how I feel and what I'm wearing. Yes.
The same here. Mine just don't match. Mine just don't match. But that said, talking about bloopers, you know, most of my bloopers are during the time that I'm actually creating, you know, like my embroidery, and I may walk away from the machine at one moment, and it starts, you know, I'm recording, but it's bunching up the thread, and then I'm like, oh my God, they can't let them see that, so I have to edit that out of there, you know, so that you don't see that, and then I have to start over from the beginning because I can't use that piece. So it's a true. But it happens to me a lot, and you know, or I'll get halfway through making a garment, and then I'll say, oh, but I forgot to do the interfacing, and I didn't do this hem when I didn't, you know, serge it or something, and then I have to go back and start over or do that part. And you might see me do, for instance, you'll see my sleeves on one video, and you may see it now that I talk about it. My sleeves are yellow.
A good idea would be for you to make those bloopers clips.
Yeah.
If you would make those short.
You could. Wayne World Unlimited was here earlier. He does that.
Yeah.
Make a separate video.
Make them.
Instead of putting bloopers in the video, you take all your bloopers and make them into its own video. Like specifically a blooper video is an idea, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I would have at one point had a unboxing of an Apple Watch, but I didn't hit record before I started unboxing it. And for anybody that has one, you can't put that back in the box. I couldn't have faked it if I wanted to. So that's a video that just never made it. And you have to double check. Did I hit record? Because to do that the way I used to do them is I used to put the camera on, I used to turn it on, and then walk to the other side of the table to do the unboxing. So there's a video blown with big mistake, right? I was so angry.
I know you were fussing. I can just imagine it.
I know, because I start sewing.
All the lights had went out in the middle of a live, and I just got my phone and I made it a short, and I said, listen, as soon as the lights come on, I'll be back.
Sometimes you just gotta work with it in the moment. Like, it is what it is. I was just recording it, and one of my earrings fell out in the middle. I'm like, ooh. It is what it is. You just keep rolling. Gotta be a pro.
Roll with it.
Gotta keep rolling.
Oh yeah.
The show must go on.
That's it.
I start sewing, and then I have to pause to do something, and I'll come back and I'll hit the button, and I think I hit record, but I actually took a still snapshot, and I'm sewing, and then I go to turn it off. I'm like, it was never on. I'm like, oh my God, they missed 10 minutes of my deal, my project. So there you just it's just lost. So you just keep it moving, record going forward, and then splice it together and keep it moving.
Yes, keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Yeah, listen, I thought I was recording the other day, but what I was recording instead of the actual video was me and my son trying to get the camera and the lighting set up, because it's all new to me.
Nah.
And I hit record, but instead I hit stop recording because I didn't realize that was recording. So I was ready. Now my cameras and my lights are ready. And I'm like, okay, time to record. And I start discussing my topic. And I'm like, okay, let me review this and see, only to realize I was not recording. And everything that recorded was just us setting up the lights. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I just had to laugh and just do a retake. It is what it is. It happened. Corinne's life. Oh my gosh, she's saying here. Yeah. And someone had a question in the chat. I didn't know how to answer it because I wasn't sure I understood the question. Did you guys see that as well? It was about something on the panel.
Something about something.
On the panel.
Were they only two people or something?
Yeah. Did you understand the question? Because I
can
didn't.
see everybody.
I'm scrolling back to try to look. Pardon me.
Hopefully, that was Miss
It was
Susan.
Susan,
I think
Susan G.
it's fixed now.
Susan G.
Yeah, Susan.
5:16 p.m.
Okay, I don't see it anymore on my side here. 5:16. Because
Yeah,
I want to make
forgive
sure,
us.
guys, if you have questions before we close it out, go ahead and ask. That's why
Especially if we
here.
missed anything in the chat. None of us mean to, but we all get enwrapped in the conversation, right?
That is so true. As much as I try, I tend to miss saying hello to people that come in my chat, and I don't mean to do it, but it still happens. It's a skill that you get better with over time.
I've gotten better, but I still make mistakes. Even just a couple of months ago, I went out to film some fireworks, and I'm standing there, and the chat is rolling, and I really don't have to say anything because the idea is to be quiet and let everybody hear the ambiance while the fireworks are going off. Somebody who I don't know went in the chat and said, "Kevin, I'm standing right behind you," and I was reading the chat, and I still didn't see it. And I'm like, "Oh God, this is what I mean." I had somebody I didn't know. They were literally standing behind me in real life. Like, I had a brand new person that might have been a subscriber, and they're probably gone forever because, oh my God, this guy can't even read. They hear me like looking at the thing, and I still can't see what they're saying. Oh, he's ignoring me. Obviously, is my imagination.
I mean, it happens. What people do.
Yeah, my mods have saved me many times. I know Kevin relies on Pete. The mods will catch things and welcome people in your chat. It's really helpful to be a good mod.
Yeah, it really sucks. I do my best wherever I'm a mod. I do my best, and even if I'm not a mod, I welcome people as I see them coming because I know what it is. I miss a lot of things in the chat, and sometimes when I look back, because I don't know if you guys look back at your live stream sometimes just to see if you missed anyone. I see, oh wow, I didn't even know this person was here, and I feel like, gosh, I didn't welcome because I like people to feel welcome when they come to my house. Hey, welcome in.
So I got another tip for everybody as well. Almost all of us use Nightbot on the panel here, almost, right? I think. But even in the chat, many people use it. If you're not already using Nightbot, one of the best features of that thing is that it keeps chat logs. Even if somebody deletes a message after they put it in the chat, Nightbot tells you exactly what everybody said in the chat and when they said it. So if you want to, you can go back. You don't even have to watch your stream, or like if we ever have to cut anything, the chat disappears and everything. But Nightbot still has it. And you can sort by date, and it keeps it for a long period of time. So you could, if you wanted to, go back and say, let me go and watch a video from each one of these people, see if they have a channel, make sure I thank them for coming by. Because not everybody's going to comment either, right? Not everybody has time for that. And things like that. But that can be a great way to keep in touch with people. I do it in a different way, but it is nice to know that Nightbot keeps those chat logs for us, especially if you wanted to go see something specific. What exactly did they say? Like Susan G's question. We can go back now maybe and look and say like, oh, I see what she said. Let me go find her and say something about it then, right?
You just schooled me. I didn't know Nightbot did all that. Oh, wow.
How many bots are there, Kevin?
So I use 4 now. There was one called Botissimo, but it went out of service just before Christmas. So I use Nightbot, and Streamlabs has a chatbot included. Stream Elements is another one, and there's another one that I think I found from Ben Cyan Games called Botrix, Botrix, Botrix. And that one has a paid option, but I haven't really looked too much into it yet. I just wanted to get it in there because I like to try everything and see how they all work. So I've got them all doing something. If you're in Tuber Chat, you're going to see robots coming through every 10 minutes saying something. But it's really for a couple reasons. One, to make sure that if one of them doesn't work one day, another one can pick up the slack, especially when we have memberships and we're making promises. You have to make up for that, right? But then as well, each one has different features that I really like. Like so Nightbot, for instance, with the chat logs, Streamlabs for the statistics, Stream Elements is the best one for timers. They don't run into each other. Most of us know what it's like to get Nightbot to say 3 or 4 things, but sometimes it hammers the chat all at once and says them all at the same time. You're like, I wish you wouldn't do that, but Stream Elements doesn't do that. right?
Yeah.
So these are the reasons why I use so many. I'm still learning bot tricks, but they're still developing as well. It's like a beta thing.
Oh, wow, man, you're
Hey,
such
Kevin,
a
before
yeah.
you go, can you talk about the AI that you're using now and maybe how that might be something we could do in the future?
Yeah.
I thought
Right.
that was
So
really fascinating.
what I always want to say, you know how people say, Charlene said it earlier in the stream, we have to be authentic, right? So this is where I would say, do as I say, not what I do, because I have been known to go on ChatGPT, make descriptions, and just copy them right out, right? Again, from rushing. So it's better to inject some of yourself into that stuff and use it for inspiration. But something like ChatGPT can be a great tool. I use it all the time. As a matter of fact, I've dabbled with making a custom GPT. If they ever open that up so that everybody can use it for free, then I'll put it out. Right now, it's only for paid users, which really defeats the purpose of what I would want to do with it, because the people who are paying for ChatGPT don't need it, kind of thing, right? But you can use ChatGPT to give you inspiration for titles. You can say, write me 5 different titles for my video, and it'll give you 5 different things that you wouldn't have thought of. And then you could just restructure those to what you like. The description, I always specifically write the exact sentence, write me a lengthy, keyword rich description about the Samsung Galaxy 24, let's say, for instance.
Kevin,
And
I
it
put
will write
viral in there.
paragraphs. Oh, and you can give it instruction in pure like English language. You could just say what you're thinking and it knows how to do it. You don't have to do it in a specific way. And then I ask it for tags, I ask it for hashtags, but we all know that when you look at a list of tags, you're going to think of 3 or 4 more right away as soon as you see a couple, because you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. I got to put Galaxy 24, I got to put Samsung 24, I got to put whatever, you know what I mean? And so those can be useful for that. I haven't played with the Opus system yet, but this one AI system called Opus, OPUS, allows you to post a long form video or live stream, and it will pick out, I believe, 10 potential short videos for you with titles and descriptions and things. So whether or not it's as useful as it sounds, I'm not sure until I try it. An idea would be like, let's say somebody had a gaming channel and they're playing Grand Theft Auto for the, it's all weapons and killing each other and everything else. But one of the funniest parts about Grand Theft Auto and its appeal is the fact that you're dying constantly, right? You play for 3 minutes, you die, you start over. And those deaths, if we want to call it that, while the game is on, can be great short clips, or you can make compilations of them. And a system like that might be able to help, but a human eye would be a little bit better with that. But I'm not sure because I haven't tried them yet. But ChatGPT I'm using all the time. I try to learn about all these things. Actually, like I read very few daily emails or blogs, if we want to call it that. But I do have a few that just give the roundup of either what's happening in tech, what's happening in AI, what's happening in crypto, or what's happening in social media. I just have a few.
You're going to need to do a video demonstrating all this stuff, because for somebody like me who is like not so tech savvy, this sounds fantastic, but knowing how to use it is another thing. I love what it sounds like.
I use every excuse in the book, I promise you. But I have been barking up that tree for 3 years. My intention is to do videos eventually for Tuber Chat that will be specific how-to videos that I know everybody needs. I haven't been able to find or make the time to get these things done. And part of that, to be honest with you, is perfectionism. I want them to be good and proper without mistakes, because you can't have mistakes when you're doing that. And the problem is then they don't get out. So I did an Instagram one a long time ago. I did a Twitter one, and I did one about using TubeBuddy for the comments. And a couple of those videos did not too badly. I forget which one is the best, whether it's Instagram or Twitter, but times have changed, right? So by the time you get a video out, they might have already changed. The button is not red anymore, it's white, or it's on the left instead of the right, or you got an extra screen to go through or something. So my intention is to eventually do some of these and then inject a small amount of opinion, but specifically how to. In Tuber Chat, we get to do a little bit of that. Once in a while, I hop in. If you want to remind me, Nora, when we do the next Tuber Chat, I'll be on tomorrow, but whenever we can do it and you're there, I'll open up ChatGPT and show you what I'm talking about so that everybody can use it the way that I use it, because it's free essentially right now. It doesn't matter if you're using ChatGPT or Google Bard or any of the other ones, but they can be really, really helpful. And then you just adapt it to your own style, fill in the things that are missing and rearrange the sentences. You'll get great inspiration from it.
Oh, goodness. I think my son, because I didn't even know he had it. And he said, "Oh, mommy, something with your title or something." And he's like, "Oh, I use Chat GPT." That's how you say it, Chat G.
Yes.
But either way, I was like, "Oh, okay. I just did this video on crystals. Can you look up some titles for me?" And it came up with, I'm like, "Oh my God, some stuff I didn't even think about." I'm like, "This is so cool." So I'm like, "Okay, now you're gonna be my guy for titles and these kinds of things, because I don't want to have to do it." So I'm like, "You're going to be assigned to that." I think it's so cool.
The only other thing I should mention about it, though, is while it looks spectacular, right? So you type it in, you say, "Give me 5 titles for my video." And the titles that come out are going to look fantastic. And you're going to say, "Oh, this is amazing. I'm going to use this." But you really have to put a little bit of thought into it, because they are not guaranteed to get any kind of views or traction. I haven't had any more success using anything that ChatGPT has spit out than anything else, with the exception, I would say, possibly descriptions. So I got called out, like on another channel that I run. Somebody's like, "Oh, Kevin's using ChatGPT." And it's like, yeah, of course I am. So what you're saying is either I would have never written a description for that video and now there is one, or I just took what would have cost me 15 or 20 minutes of time, condensed it down to 3 minutes so I could do more work. So either way, like I win that battle.
Do that?
Oh, well, people are going to bark at almost anything that they see.
Always
right?
want to out somebody.
Yeah, there's always tons of that. But after a little while, you learn to let it roll off your shoulders, especially when you hear stories. That's why I was so happy to come and do this with Charline today, is because if we can save anybody a little bit of heartache when it comes to the idea of some of these mistakes, or especially when we get into the trolling and they're like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about because I've seen that." Well, now you don't have to go through it and you'll recognize it, and then you don't have to react to it. One of my biggest mistakes was reacting to trolls the first time we ran a live stream, and I'd never been through it before. And people just came in by the hundreds acting just wild. And I was like, "Let me be clear. I will time anybody out that acts in a way that we don't like." And they were like, "Oh, God, you're such a nerd." And to this day,
like a head teacher.
5 or 6 years later, a couple of the people from that live stream still follow me around. So that's why I said to Charline Heal before we did this today, I said, "You have to make sure I'm a moderator, because I haven't been trolled lately, but just in case." I had a guy come on, and it's one of these guys from 5 years ago, come into another creator stream. We were doing a panel together, and she's all her channel is, it happens to be more religious than anything else, but spiritual inspiration, let's just say. And this guy has to come in and say, like, "Kevin's an idiot. He doesn't know anything. Why are you listening to this guy?" And I'm like, "Oh God." So this is why I say these kind of things can follow you forever. If I could save somebody that trouble by saying, when somebody comes and hammers you in the chat like a troll, just ignore it. It's really not you. They just do it to everybody. And as soon as they get a bite, they're on you forever because they got nothing to do.
I got a question for Kevin.
No questions allowed.
Thank you very much. Kevin, one time I had this troll in the background, right? I hadn't let him up. We were doing a live, and I was talking to somebody. He wanted to come up. I looked at the bottom to see who it was, and he's there.
Yeah.
I'm like, out everything. I'm like,
But it might not have been real. It might have been a video clip because they
Yeah.
know how to do that too. The smartest ones actually heard a story about one channel having that done. And what they did was they got a couple of real people to have a real conversation and act normal, if we want to call it that, for like 10 minutes on a stream and then pop it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is, I can't go on enough about trust. You have to make sure, because this is one of the worst things. We are responsible for whatever we post. So if you're recording somebody and they say something, you're responsible for that, even though it's not your fault. We know it's not your fault. When you put somebody on panel, you know who they are. And somebody, like, I don't want to give the trolls like how to do it, but we can imagine it's technically possible to make anything look like anything, and then 10 minutes later pop up the worst of the worst. You have to be careful. That's all we can do. And just, this is why I don't do panels, right? A lot of people would wonder, like, why don't you do panels on Tuber Chat? I've had one person on many times, but that's somebody I was already connected to for a long time. And I don't do it because it's not that I don't trust my friends. I absolutely do. But we can't be careful. And whose fault is it? And I'm not losing 6 years of work, because here's the other thing. If you get guideline strikes or copyright strikes, if one thing goes wrong in one stream and you have anything similar anywhere else, it's possible to get 3 in a row. Bang, all your channels and your AdSense and everything else are gone, because YouTube tells us any associated channels, right?
What?
I'm not losing all my work for a mistake where I should have known better. That's never happening.
Back that up and say it again. Did you say if you get banned on one channel or a strike on one, it could affect all your other channels?
If you get a channel removed for violations to either the guidelines or the terms of service, it is possible to lose everything. That's why I don't do it. I got a guideline strike on my personal channel and took down all the content that was related, because we all know if copyright claims can come 3 years later, so can guideline strikes. And I'm not having that. I'm not losing 6 years of work over, because whose fault is it? That we can argue with them till we're blue in the face, but YouTube tells us if we take your channel, it's gone forever. Right. We can't expect to be that exception. And we've even heard horror stories of people losing their channels unjustly and not getting them back. You know what I mean? So,
because even if you don't put the link in the chat or whatever, they know how to get the link and try to get up on the panel.
Right. If you look at a StreamYard link, what we use to click on, any robot can spit out 1 million of those, and they just fire them off until they get a bite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am learning some things here today. Thanks for the schooling. I didn't know that, like, whoa, mind blowing. So while we're at that, can I ask a question? This is anyone on the panel that has been monetized for a while. Tuber Chat, Angel, Diana. Now, I've heard 2 things about being monetized. You know, you have to get to the 4K. Well, the original way, 4K 1000, right? So after that, some people are saying that you don't have to maintain 4K. You just have to keep producing. And some people say, yeah, you have to maintain 4K.
Yeah.
Which is it?
So
no, you have to be active.
YouTube tells
they're going to say one thing, but they do another.
That's right. YouTube tells us that we have to maintain those hours, but there's 2 things that I always say about that. First of all, if you're at a level that you got your 4,000 hours, you're probably at a level that over the next 12 months, you're organically going to exceed that 4,000 hours, right? The second thing is, I have never yet in the history of Tuber Chat heard of a channel being lost due to not maintaining those hours, or what I didn't mean to say channel being lost, demonetized for not maintaining the hours. Not once. Yeah. So I don't want to tell anybody don't worry about it, but
if you don't want to, the main thing is you have to just keep posting videos or live streams, be active on your channel. If you're not keeping up your 4,000 hours and you stop posting videos, chances are, I know somebody that did get demonetized. They were monetized, but they stopped being active on their channel, and they stopped keeping up the 4,000 hours. And in addition to that, they stopped being active on their channel. They were demonetized. So if you don't keep up your 4,000 hours, but you stay active on your channel, chances are you will keep your channel.
Yeah, my bet is
Keep your
999 out of 1,000 will be okay.
Yeah, that's why I try to keep a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're gonna see me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, and anything in between that is just icing on the cake. But I try to keep my schedule. Even my husband goes, you need to get ready.
Pardon me just for a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to step away.
Okay,
Okay.
Kevin.
Charlene, I wanted to talk about the lights since you and I had to talk about the lights.
Okay.
How many of you guys use lights with your computer, your system that you have when you're live? You do? Okay.
Yeah, I have a background light that changes.
Yeah.
I can change colors.
I do, but I don't have it in here right now. I don't have it with me right now.
Okay.
I'm still
Do
learning.
you have the square and the ring, or do you the big ring, not the little one, the big ring?
The thing
Oh,
is so big.
I just use a lamp light. I don't have a ring light.
Yeah, I don't use the ring because it forms those circles in my glasses, and I'm like, no.
I'm talking about the big one.
Excuse me.
I
That's
have like
nice.
big studio lights. It
Yeah.
came in a set of 2. I think that's what they call it, studio lights. The one that looks like if you're in a photography free studio or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, tongue twister. There we go.
Yeah.
There it is. But
Great emotion.
it's,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah. It looks good.
convenient to me. I don't know if I like it. It's not really
Really?
convenient. It's so bulky. I'm like, oh, I wish I had something smaller.
Well,
It's just so bulky.
Do you have a desk that you're using for your studio?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I just put mine right in front of the desk.
Oh, so it's glaring in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're gonna, gonna have like dark spots on your face, or
That's a good tip because I had it kind of like on my 2 sides because I'm like, I don't know where to put this light because
put it right in front of where the computer is.
But doesn't
I
that
have
hurt your eye?
computer.
Because I feel like I don't want it in my eyes. Like,
Yes, in your eyes.
Kevin, are you using the Razer Kaio right now? Because that's
I
what
am,
use.
yeah. I turned it on actually. So StreamYard, for whatever reason, looks a little bit different than when I'm on Tuber Chat. But I don't have great lighting. I got to try to improve this. But when I turn it on, you can see a little bit of a difference there. So
Yeah.
that's the Razer Kaio. What the Stock Explorer is talking about is a camera that has it's a webcam that sits on top of a monitor, and it's got a ring light on it that you just turn on and off by turning a dial. It's a tiny little circle, and then it's got a microphone built in as well. So it's all in one, and so that's why I love it so much. But this thing here, I can turn the brightness way up without stepping away, and you can see it changes kind of the look, although I'm using a green screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this thing.
Yeah,
I still got to do
miss
better
mine.
lighting. The best way is to experiment,
yeah.
but I would watch 3 videos about how to do lighting in YouTube, and then look for channels that you recognize, like Think Media's done it, and a couple, I'm quite sure they've done it, and a couple other creators that you'll recognize, because you don't want to do it for television and for film. You want somebody to say like how to set up a YouTube studio, and then they'll, show you the lighting. It's simple stuff, but only experimenting is going to get you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys like my background and everything.
It's nice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And I have had it set up for like years now. So
It takes time, I guess, in experimenting because for me, I had lights before and they kind of broke, and in my move, I kind of lost all that. So I'm like, okay, let me get some new stuff, but they're so big.
Well, lighting doesn't have to be expensive. We don't have to use professional lights. You can use any lamp around the house. If you got some kind of a desk lamp or anything else, you can stack a bunch of books on a table, put the lamp on top. As long as it's coming down, it's good enough.
But I don't like that. I don't like the green showing around my hands and face.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, if you can avoid it.
Particular, I'm telling you.
We know, diva.
I am royalty. I like what I like.
Angel's talking about the middle 3 Star Wars movies. Where
I
like the
spend
whole
a
movie.
little coin. I spend a little coin for what I like. You know?
All right. So I found a question from Susan G.
Ah.
And I'm not sure what she means. Can anyone break that down? Like,
I think
see
that was
two people on the
over
channel.
an hour ago. She said that. I think it's fine. Yeah, that was the beginning.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but I asked, like I said out loud, if she's still here, just please mention it again. But I don't think she's still watching right now.
okay. So, okay. Because I don't want anybody to feel left out. So I just wanted to make sure we
No.
covered that. Oh my God. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and then we're going to wrap it up. Everybody's going to go like, do a summation of whatever they want to say, biggest mistakes, their channel, whatever you want to talk about, any tips or advice or encouragement. So if you want to take a little potty break or a
You got a new
break,
sponsor?
I sponsor myself right now. So if you're wanting to be a sponsor of the channel, come on to the room.
Oh.
You got
I'm just interested in natural products, wellness, and any type of company that cares about our environment. I support that. If you're selling nonsense, I'm sorry, I don't do that here.
Goodbye, Paralife.
Yay!
Thank you all for being
Thanks,
here.
Kevin.
We're going to take a commercial break. If y'all want to fix your face, breathe, whatever you want to do, jiggy, jiggy, jiggy. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the merch store. I am not a singer. Thank you for shopping the merch store. All my merch are designed to empower and encourage us with the fact that we can heal ourselves. We are in charge of our wellness. So take courage and be in charge. For customizable merch, you can reach out to me. The customizable merch are great for family events like family reunions, and it's also great for corporate events. So if you have a business and you have a corporate event, reach out, I can help. Infinite wellness to you. Welcome to the merch store. I am not a singer. Thank you for shopping the merch store. All my merch are designed to empower and encourage us with the fact that we can heal ourselves. We are in charge of our wellness. So take courage and be in charge. For customizable merch, you can reach out to me. The customizable merch are great for family events like family reunions, and it's also great for corporate events. So if you have a business and you have a corporate event, reach out, I can help. Infinite wellness to you.
And just like that, we are back. And just like that, we are back. I'm not a singer. You see how I'm just so silly, if y'all haven't realized that by now. So we're going to start with the last person that came in. Anything you want to share with our fellow YouTubers or people that are thinking about becoming content creators on your journey? Any mistakes you've made that you want to share that you didn't share, or just any form of encouragement? Take it away, Miss Nora.
I would say just be a good friend on YouTube. Be the friend that you'd like to have for your channel. Be that for other people, like Kevin says. Do more than, is expected, and give as much as you can. Give as much support as you can. Keep connecting. Don't forget to stay connected. Leave nice comments. Follow up with the new people that come to your channel. Welcome everybody. And don't forget where you came from, guys. Don't forget the people that helped build you to the first 1,000. Don't forget them. Check in with them from time to time and let them know you still care about them.
I told y'all she's a sweetheart. Yes, beautiful message. Oh, Kevin just gifted a membership. I don't know who got it, but thank you, Kevin. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's celebrate that. Angel, that's your cue. You know when it's super chats and stuff, you do the dance.
Oh, you want me to do it? Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your super chat. You didn't have to do it, but you did. You didn't have to do it, but you did. Thank you for your super chat. Ding.
Yay.
I like the shades on.
Yeah, I didn't have shades on, did I?
You forgot your shades.
Wait. I forgot my shit, and I got like 6 pairs.
Okay, check this out.
Hey.
Let me get you some music.
I love it.
Music. Yeah, hit it.
Angel's always dancing on her
Thank you
channel.
for your super chat, Kevin K. Thank you for your super chat, Kevin K. You know,
She's so seductive with it today, huh?
you didn't have to do it, but you did. You didn't have to. You didn't have to. You didn't have to do it, but you did. But you did. So I thank you very much for your super chat. Thank you very much for your super chat. Thank you. Thank you for your super chat.
All right.
The Charlie was put on the sensual music.
Oh, that was special just to Kevin. Only he could get that, right?
Wow, that was epic.
Right? Ms. Rochelle, you're up next. Share with the people.
Okay, I want to say thank you, first of all, for inviting me today, having me on the panel. And I would say, no matter what you're doing on YouTube, make sure you're consistent. Make sure you do you. Don't try to fake it. It's better if you make it on your own terms, no matter what anyone says. And remember, as I always say, every day above ground is a good day, so you may as well enjoy it. See you in the next one.
That's right. Angel. Emotions said you might have to put you on the track now. Look at you getting record deals now.
Hey, I got a record deal.
There you
go. Oh my God.
All right, so up next we're gonna have Kevin. Go ahead and share with my brother.
All right, thank you. We're here to talk about mistakes today, and I just want everybody to know most of the little mistakes that everybody makes don't matter. If I asked everybody in the chat or on the panel today to list me their first 5 videos in the order that they posted them when they started their YouTube channel, they wouldn't be able to do it. It doesn't matter. The things you do today, the little tiny mistakes aren't going to hold back your channel or your video. So the most important thing is just to get the stuff done. My biggest mistakes, I say it a million times, come from rushing. So as long as you're careful, you're probably going to do better than I do. And in my opinion, I do just fine. So hopefully you take that as encouragement and keep posting.
That's right. And that's where time management skill comes in, they say. Working on it. Next up is the angel in the house with a sweet voice.
Hello, everybody. I really enjoyed all of you tonight, and I want you to know, keep on pushing. Keep going with your channel. Don't give up. Keep trying. The more you try, the more you learn. It's a learning experience. Mm-hmm. And the more you're involved with other people, you'll learn different things. Take notes and just be personable. When you're live, just be personable, be yourself, and so you don't have to fake the funk at any time. You can just be you, and you'll be God. You'll be good. You'll be good. So keep going on. You can make it.
All right, well done. I just want to thank everyone that came through, everyone that's coming after. Thank you, and my special guests and panelists. I just want to say thank you. I know it was kind of like last minute, all except for Rochelle, because this was something that Rochelle and I. We were like, I was in her chat. I was like, you know what? Let's just do a live stream on bloopers. I think it might be fun and a good way to learn from each other, help a lot of people out, and encourage some folks on the way. Because you know me, I'm encouragement all the way. So I just want to say thank you, Rochelle, for like getting on board with it. Angel, Kevin, Nora, you all. I kind of like told you like last minute. You all were like, let's go, and I was like, thank you. This is awesome. So. Thank you so much. I'm so honored and grateful for everything that you shared. I've learned a lot. And one thing I know for sure on this journey, you're always learning. There's always something new to learn. So keep your mind open. Don't give up. Don't exhaust yourself. Have fun. Take breaks when you need to. I mean, I take breaks sometimes. Sometimes I have a live stream schedule and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not in the vibe right now. And I put it to another time. And that's just how I do it. I cannot come on and be inauthentic. I have to be true to myself. I'm not going to come here dragging myself like, oh God, let me just get up there and do this. No, my vibration have to be bright because I understand what I'm giving out, people are receiving, and I'm very careful to be given energy that I would want to receive, positive energy, good energy to uplift and inspire and teach others. So, with that said, I want to thank you for coming through. Thank you for all the love and the blessings. Y'all take care.
Thanks for
See you in
having
the
us.
next one. Yes, 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 of course. My pleasure.
Yes, thank you, everyone.